What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes here, back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the long-awaited, highly anticipated Medicom toy or Mafex comic book Daredevil. Now, this is one I know comic book fans have been patiently waiting for, and now we finally have it. So let's go ahead and get started, diving right into the sexy packaging. Now, when it comes to the box, it's really not the most appealing, but there are some pretty cool things about it. First off, you do got the window where you can see the figure right there. You've got this really dope image of Daredevil right here with this black cell shading, making him look really cool. I would love if they put a figure out with this cell shading, but I highly doubt they're going to do it. Anyway, we do have Daredevil right there. It says Daredevil right there. Marvel, Mafex, Medicom toy. Nothing much going on at the top, nothing much going on at the bottom. We've got an image of him right here along the side. Full body image of him running right here on this side, and then of course on the back you've got some poses you can get the figure into, as well as some of the accessories. And I do believe this is the first time we've seen a yelling, screaming facial expression, so I'm really glad that they threw this in there. But either way, let's go ahead and bust this guy out of the package so we can see what this figure is all about. Now, initially, this was just going to be a solo review. I was going to spend my time discussing the Medicom toy Daredevil figure and keep it at that. But since all of the big names have already gotten their reviews out, I decided to do something different and give you guys what you enjoy, and that is none other than a comparison video. And what better figure to compare it to than the Marvel Legends 3-pack Daredevil, as these two are pretty much the only really good comic book Daredevil figures there are. Some people can argue that the Mezco is one of them, but let's keep it a buck, that thing can't pose. And so here we are stuck with these two, which in my opinion are both really damn good figures. And honestly, I do want to say this as well, both of them are very high in price. So it's perfect for you guys to kind of decide, if you want one of these, which one you're going to want, because I do want to let you guys know now the Medicom toy version is completely sold out, and so is this 3-pack version, meaning that if you want to get your hands on them, you're gonna have to hit up Evil Bay and pay those aftermarket prices. But seriously, guys, this is why I tell y'all to pre-order your figures, so you're not stuck having to make decisions like this where you're breaking the bank and paying aftermarket prices. But either way, that's another story. Let's go ahead and get started by taking a closer look at these two figures. Never did I imagine I would be reviewing the Hasbro version and comparing it to the Mafex, but here we are. Now, getting up close and personal, taking a look at the details, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Mafex on this one. It is a more expensive figure, I guess production-wise, so obviously the details on this one are going to be a little bit better. First thing I want to acknowledge is the head sculpt. This head sculpt looks really nice, man. I love it. I love the devil horns. I love the eyes, how you can see the ears through the mask. The skin tone, in my opinion, looks really dang good, man. The whole body, it has that similar Mafex feel, that same feel you get with every Mafex figure. But ever since their Nightwing release, it just feels like their plastic is so much better, man. These aren't figures that feel like they're fragile or that they're just going to break in your hands. I remember seeing promo images of this, and people were complaining about the look of this guy like crazy. And maybe it's because of how Medicom toy had him posed, but I'll be honest, yo, this figure looks absolutely superb. The proportions on this guy are just through the roof, man. Everything looks so good. He's got that slim, slender build that isn't too bulky, which is exactly how I like my comic book figures anyway. He's toned out. There's actually some shading in there. It's very subtle, but it gives the costume a pop. It looks like there's some black shading throughout the abs, the chest, the legs. It just looks really good, man. And then you can also see the differences in the red. You can see it's more of a darker red right here, then it goes to a lighter red right here along the belt, the Daredevil logo, and you can actually see it in the eyes if you pay close attention to it. Obviously right here on the I don't know what you call this, the holster, the strap, and then the boots. The only issue I really have with the look of this figure is the feet, because they did the toe joint really weird, yo. It's like super elongated in comparison to most. That's not typically something that Medicom toy does, and so it just looks really off. And it's just maybe that I'm not used to it, but still, I think it looks a little weird. But anyway, from front to back, man, sculpt work, detail, everything on this figure is just outstanding. And at this point, that's something we've grown to expect from Medicom Toy, and we should, because these figures are hella expensive. I believe retail for this guy was about 80 bucks. So yeah, they better come with it. Moving on to the Marvel Legends, obviously this one is going to be a whole lot more cheap feeling just because it is a different kind of plastic. It is a reused mold, and it's got some things about it that I kind of don't like, just because of the fact I've got my hands on the Medicom toy. And I think this is why Hasbro could never just be my definitive action figure company when it comes to Marvel superheroes, because I never even realized that the arms are a solid plastic piece. It's this softer looking plastic, and then everything around the chest has a shine to it, but you don't have that on the legs or the feet. It's just more so the crotch and torso areas. And obviously it's because they're a different kind of molded plastic, and then they're probably just clamped together in here around this articulated shoulders and all of that. I don't know, man, but dang, I never realized that until now. Now, another thing I did realize is that the 2Ds on the chest are actually painted on this guy. And so sometimes when you're looking at it visually, they don't pop out as much as I want them to. Unlike on the Medicom toy version, you can see that they're actually sculpted and painted on there. And what's blocking them a bit more is the fact that this is a shiny plastic. And so once the light's hitting it, it kind of blocks out both of the Ds on his... It kind of blocks out the lettering on his chest. We're going to say lettering. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, it looks really good on the Mafex, man. I really am liking this a whole lot better. And when it comes to the head sculpt on this guy, I do like the head sculpt. It looks really good. I think it's cool the fact that they painted the lips. They don't look too bad. That's up to you guys, which you prefer. He actually looks kind of dead under the mask without his lips being painted. So I guess I'm going to prefer the head sculpt on this one. And I do like the more like glaring look in the eyes. I do dig that. This one definitely looks more angry. Now, when it comes to everything else, in comparison of the two, it's just a whole bunch of red. That's pretty much all you're getting with this guy. But the more I look at it, this one kind of looks more red. This one almost looks like a pinkish color. Just because it's not as red as I want it to be. But that's up to you, which of these you do like better. Holsters on both of these look really good. Not really a whole lot going on. But yeah, I do also think that the toe hinges on the Hasbro version look better because they're not as elongated for absolutely no reason. So some things about both that I enjoy. Some things I like more on the Mafex. Some things I like more on the Hasbro. Now, anyway, let's go ahead and put them back so we can get into some articulation. Now, when it comes to the height on both of these figures, they are both pretty tall, the Mafex being the taller, but as you guys can see, he stands right at about 6.5 inches to the top of his head. Definitely one of the taller Mafex figures. And then we do have the Marvel Legends standing just shy of that. He is a tad bit shorter, standing just over 6.25. So yeah, crazy enough, Mafex is actually taller than Marvel Legends, which it's starting to seem like they're scaling up their figures a bit, but we'll see how they stack up with some other figures once I get to the size comparisons a little bit later. Now, we already know who's about to take it in this category, but we're going to do it anyway. First off, when it comes to the Mafex, he looks up very well. Very, very well. So those flying in poses, zipping down, whatever you want him to do is going to work. He looks down also very well. Really good tilt and turn. Be careful with that head because it will pop off. Now, I've already taken this off. That could be why it wasn't all the way on there and it popped off easy. Who knows? Anyway, arms go up and out that much effortlessly that, whew, I dig it, man. I dig it. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I really love posing Mafex figures, so I'm going to enjoy this regardless. Butterfly joints, insane, man. Insane, yo. There's not a pose that this guy can't hit. Like, he's going to be able to do whatever. When it comes to the bicep, he does have a swivel. Double jointed elbows. My boy can flex, yo. He can hit whatever you want him to do, man. He can be the coldest guy in the gym. Yo, look at this, man. The flex is crazy. When it comes to the hands, they are on a little tiny peg here. Much smaller than usual, but they do move around just fine. At the diaphragm, you're not going to have any problems. He leans back very far. You will get a little bit of gapping. Leans forward just enough, not much. He does rock side to side, and then he also moves around quite a bit at the waist. He leans forward very well, leans back very well. So good on both of those. Drop down legs. He can kick all the way up. So enemies getting the boot if that's what he wants to do. And Daredevil is all about boxing, so y'all better know he be throwing hands and legs. When it comes to the splits, you're good. He does have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees that are super effective. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker. Toe hinge, overdone, but it does work. So posing this guy around, it's pretty much going to be effortless. If you know how to pose an action figure, and if you can imagine it, this guy can do it. Now, one other thing I do want to touch on is that this piece right here is on a ball peg. I guess that's kind of cool, but it means you can't have him without it, or you'll have this like really large hole in his leg. So not feeling that. I wish they had found a better way around it, but I do like the fact that this does swivel and move around. So whenever you're posing this guy, it's not getting in the way, and you don't have to too much worry about this white paint rubbing up against this red. That is something you guys want to be careful of, because I'm pretty sure that red will get onto the white and it'll cause some color discoloration. So yeah, just be prepared for that. Now for the legends, he looks up about that much. Down, not much at all. No real tilt or anything. That's about as much as you're gonna get. Arms go up and out about this much, so not the best. And if I remember correctly, this is on the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man body. If you guys know, then you know. Most of my subscribers that are here probably don't, but if the comic book fans that are here, you guys will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, when it comes to the arms, they go back about that much. You bring them around about that much. So yeah, very, very good butterfly joint. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Mine is kind of stiff. This guy has been in a plastic bag for a while. So yeah, anyway, he still can flex and bring his arms in. I don't like the way they do their hands. They're on this hinge, but I mean, they move around just fine. So you're not really going to have any issues there. At the diaphragm, he moves very well. In fact, he moves even better than the Mafex version. And as you guys can see, he leans back very far. You're going to get the gapping. He leans forward even more because he's got this little, I don't know what you call it, like an ab crunch. Oh yeah, that is what it's called, an ab crunch. So that's good. He doesn't have a waist swivel. So all their swivel is going to come out of the diaphragm joint, which it makes it more realistic. And since there's nothing about the plastic or the costume that separates here when it comes to them using this, I'm fine with it. Now, normally if they do this on a Spider-Man figure and it breaks up the look of the costume, I absolutely hate it. But with this Daredevil, it's cool. Drop down legs, he kicks up about that much. He can do the splits about that much, so really good. He does have a thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, very effective. He does have a cut here at the calf, so you can swivel that around, but it does break up the sculpt and sometimes can look ugly. This isn't something I particularly care for, but it's been in Hasbro's figures for a while. Hit the camera, my bad. Anyway, foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker, and then he does have a toe hinge. So articulation-wise, there's really not much that the Marvel Legends can't do either. You can pose this guy around just fine as well. Because of the plastic, it feels a bit more stiff, but I mean, you can still get this guy really posed up and throwing hands if you want him to. Now, when it comes to accessories, let's not be delusional here. Like, we already know who wins this category. So, yeah. Anyway, the Mafex does come with a neutral head sculpt and a pair of fist hands right out of the packaging. He does come with this really nice teeth gritted face. This is definitely one of their better looking ones. And as you guys can see, they did actually paint a little bit around the lips. So it does look like, or it doesn't look like it just transitions from skin to teeth. You can actually see he has some lips here. So that's cool. And then he does come with this yelling face, which I actually like a whole lot. This goes to show Medicom toy can do more than just neutral and teeth gritted faces. This yelling face looks really damn dope, man. I like this. Now when it comes to hands, he comes with a pair of reaching, grabbing hands. He comes with another pair of reaching, grabbing hands in this like claw-like motion, which I really love. He comes with a pair of hands for holding on to his billy clubs. He comes with a pair of Superman flight hands. That's what I'm gonna call them. He does also come with with a pair of relaxed hands. So plenty of hands. Now, when it comes to the clubs, you do have the one that comes on him right in the packaging. You have one where he has none in there, and then you have one where he has one in there. And then he comes with the actual clubs outside of the holster. And I don't know, man, looking at these, maybe it's just me, I'm thinking AirPods, yo. Like, I'm thinking AirPods for real, yo. That's just what, I don't know. Anyway, he does come with the billy club with the AirPod attached at the end of it. Obviously, this is kind of like a grappling hook for him. And I only know that because I watched D Amazing's review. Otherwise, I would have been like, bro, what is this? But yeah, I'm going to call it an AirPod. And then he does also come with actually, I don't know if I showed this one, but he comes with a separate one. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. We'll leave it in there anyway. And then he does come with this one that has bendy wire attached. Now, I'm not going to mess with this too much because I'm not keeping this particular figure. But yeah, he comes with tons and tons of hands, heads, and AirPods. Now, accessory-wise for the Marvel Legends, he comes right out of the packaging with a pair of fist hands and then a pair of weapon-holding hands. He does come with his weapons as well, which can be holstered in there as I did show. And then he does come with two effects for whenever he has them kind of posed out. He comes with this more zigzaggy looking one, and then he comes with this one, which is more expanded. And so basically all you do is attach these onto the billy clubs, and you pretty much just put them in his hand, and then there you go. So these are cool, but obviously them having some bendy wire in them would make them that much better because these are meant to stay in this style. So you kind of have to make it work. Now, one thing I do want to say I like about these better is I do like the red and gray coloring more than just the simple white. Obviously, it could be because they come from two different comic iterations, despite the fact that these Daredevils look very similar. But yeah, I do like these more because they have a bit more color to them versus just the white. I'm not really feeling all that. But yeah, that's pretty much all you get. Sadly, neither of these figures do come with a Matt Murdock head. But if you do have one of the classic retro carded Daredevil figures that does come with one, it will pop onto this guy. And I'm only showing this for the person who needs it. Let me actually take this guy off camera for just a second and pop this on. And it did pop on very well. And then there you go. So that is cool. Now, I do believe that Medicom Toy is going to make another Daredevil and give us an unmasked head sculpt. It's probably going to be the yellow and brown outfit. I think those are the colors. But for now, we'll see. Moving on to size comparisons, y'all know I really don't collect a whole lot of comic book stuff, Marvel Legends in particular, and I really don't have a whole lot of Medicom stuff because I sold all of it. So I'm just going to compare him to whatever I want. Here he is standing next to an SH Figure Arts Naruto Top 99 Naruto Uzumaki, and of course a Yu Yu Hakusho Greatness Yusuke Urameshi, also from SH Figure Arts. Moving on to some Figma, here he is standing next to the Figma Jujutsu Kaisen Greatness Yuji Itadori and the Figma My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia Deku. And lastly, for some Hasbro figures that I do have, here they are standing next to the Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, which actually looks really good alongside Daredevil. He's just a tad bit too tall for my preference. And then we also have him standing next to a Marvel Legends retro carded Symbiote Spider-Man with warped legs. Now, when it comes to my final thoughts on these figures, I'll keep it real with you guys. It's no secret which of these I like better. I'm an import channel. I like import action figures. And at the end of the day, I do feel like the Medicom toy is going to be a better bang for your buck. Now, typically, I don't like to tell you guys which of these I prefer or which of them I think is better because these videos are usually up to you guys to kind of dissect everything what I say and make a decision on which of these you want to add to your collection. But in this case, they're both expensive figures. Both of them are sold out on the main market, meaning you gotta pay aftermarket prices. I feel like it's better to get what's more of a bang for your buck. If you're going to spend $70, $80 and get the Legends, if you can find it for that price, then by all means. But I say go ahead and spend that $100, $110 and get the Mafex, which comes with more expressions, more hands, way more accessories, and has much more posability. And for me, the fun factor is just way higher, yo. It's a better plastic quality. Everything about the Medicom toy version is just better overall, in my opinion, unless you're someone who's just biased to Hasbro and there's something that you really just personally enjoy about this Hasbro version. Now, I did end up picking up 3 of these Daredevils from Medicom toy. I'm definitely going to get rid of one of them. And I was planning on keeping my Hasbro version, but at this point, there's no reason for it, yo. Like, this is going to do nothing for my collection anymore at all. So yeah, definitely gonna let that one go. But yeah, man, I do want to know, which of these do you guys prefer? Do you agree with me on this? Do you not agree? Whatever you guys want to comment in the comment section below, let me know. And also, before I forget, go follow me on Instagram, guys. I have way more subscribers than I have followers on Instagram, and that's where the majority of my activity is. So guys, go follow me on Instagram. The link will be in the description below. But anyway, overall, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon so you're notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.